Hi parents, welcome to our 2021-22 school year orientation. Unfortunately this year we have to do it again virtually because of the new variant. We want to make sure everybody's safe. We don't want to have crowds here. So we're going to just cover some of the things for our that are helpful information for your school year success. Okay, first of all, I want to welcome you to All Saints Preschool if you are a new family, and welcome back to our returning families, and we look forward to seeing you all and having a great year of preschool. So first of all, we're going to cover the mailer that I sent over the summer. It had a bunch of flyers. So we've already got some of them back, thank you. The information, please. This just gives your teacher some ideas of how your child reacts to things, what they like, their lovies, what they call things, certain words they use for things, siblings, pets, that kind of thing. So that's just some helpful information for the parents or for the teachers about your child. So make sure you turn this in to your child's teacher, or if you want, you can put it in the office and I will give it to your child's teacher. You guys will all be getting an email that says what our class list is, so you'll know what classroom to bring your child to on Tuesday or Wednesday when they start next week. So we also have our pesticide flyer. This is just talks about what we spray the perimeter of the school with to keep all the roaches and silverfish and ants and stuff from coming into the building. That is once a month, usually around the 15th of the month. They come in, they spray on Saturday morning. A lead flyer with information about lead levels in children's blood and what their risk factors are. And this is just an informational flyer provided by the city. And obviously, we do ask that your child gets tested, part of the preschool paperwork, but we don't need to see those results. That's for your doctor to know and get to you on if there is a concern. Because of COVID, our snacks are still going to be brought from home for the morning snack, but we are still a no-nut school. Even if your child's allowed to have nuts, there's still other children in the classroom that cannot have nuts. I myself have a nut allergy, so we want to make sure that we keep our snacks and lunches nut-free. Other than that, here's a list of some helpful things that your child might like. You know what they like for snack. Please keep it healthy. Children usually like to have a little bit of a crunch, fruit, little carrots, anything like that in a small little baggie or Tupperware container is great for their morning snack. And we also are only allowed to serve certain milk or dairy products. Milk can only be 1% milk or less, non-fat milk. We cannot serve 2% milk. We can't serve chocolate milk. If you want to put something like that in their lunch, they can have that for their lunch, but for snack, they should actually probably just have water, which the preschool will supply if you don't have water in your snack. So we also want to discuss our COVID-19 waiver. This is advised to us by the school's insurance carrier. So everybody will have one of these in their folder, which we'll go over in a little bit, on Tuesday morning next week. So if you could just read over this, sign the back page, and return it to the office, we'll get that in their file. We're very confident that we're going to, all the steps we take, keeps the children safe, the staff safe. We had a really good year last year. We're pretty diligent in cleaning things. The teachers clean their classrooms every day, and then the janitors come every night. And so we try to keep surfaces wiped down and sanitized throughout the day, and hopefully this year will be as successful as last year, and the kids won't even know that we're doing anything special, just having fun. So there was also the masks. Last year it was highly recommended that children wear masks. This year it's required. So all of the children are going to be asked to wear the mask while they're inside. They're not going to be asked to wear a mask during snack time, obviously, or nap time, or lunchtime, whenever they're doing that. And then when they're outside, they don't have to wear a mask if they don't want to. If they want to take it off, they can. If not, they can leave it on. The teachers as well can remove their masks outside. So we have disposable ones here if your child forgets one or if one gets dirty or something like that. We will have masks on site in case we need to have them. And the children will also be getting like incentives for using the masks. Teachers will give out stickers or stamps or gummy bears or something like that if that's something that helps them keep those on inside. And we want to help keep everybody healthy and safe and not have any kind of having to close down the classrooms or schools if we have an outbreak of COVID on site. Let's see. Then we also have binders. Every child is asked to have a binder. This is a 1-inch binder. We use these for all year. We put extra work in here. The teachers do a monthly project that will go in here, and so you can see their development through the year. They also will get their end of the year assessment in here, as well as all kinds of artwork, classwork, anything that they do. And we ask that you bring that, or bring one of these, 1.5 inch binder, or you could buy one in the preschool office for $2. And we will have those here, and the teachers will keep those in their classroom so that your child can start accumulating stuff right off the bat. So, and at the end of the year, you get a big folder of some fun stuff that they love to look through. All right, so now we are going over our parent handbook. You all got this over the summer in the mail. Hopefully you read through it, and with all the other flyers and things. The school calendar was in there. There's other things in there that was very helpful for the school year and helping you get your calendar situated. So our parent handbook is going to cover most other information. Your required forms, I did send out another reminder email for anybody that's missing anything. So if you have paperwork due, you can bring that in either this week. You can drop it in a mail slot right outside the church office, or you could bring it Tuesday morning. And I'm usually very busy, but if you have paperwork for me, you can either find me and give it to me, or you can put it on my desk. Just make sure something's on top of it, because the wind does blow through here. So a lot of times the doctor's reports are the hard thing to get. You can wait a week or so on that until you can get your appointment, but that is required for your child's file. Your immunization record is required before your child can start school. You have to have a copy of their shot record, and they have to be up to date or scheduled for more shots. Okay, so we're going to move on to, so at the end of this book, there's a sign page that says, please return to the preschool, sign and return to the preschool office that you received this, and we went over it. So please make sure you sign this and return this to the preschool office as well. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Your immunization records, we just covered that. Make sure that they're up to date. If your child is catching up, whenever you get a shot, you need to just bring me the updated shot record and we'll add it to his file. Arrival and departure. Same as last year, when we come to preschool in the morning, you're going to walk your child in. There's sinks at both ends of the building. Please have your child wash their hands. The 2-year-olds, if you don't want to stop at the bathroom on this end of the building, you can go ahead and drop them into their teacher, and their teacher has a sink right inside the door that they can help them wash their hands at when they come in. But all children need to wash their hands before they come in, and then the parent needs to sign them in, hand the teacher their stuff, and say goodbye at the door. We're asking parents not to come into the classrooms. Just helps us keep, a good line of communication and be able to trace anybody that was in the classrooms and not in the classrooms. So if you want to just gently leave them at the door, say goodbye, give them their kiss, their hug, and then move on. Make sure that you're out of the way for the next child that wants to come in the room. And the teachers will gladly take your stuff. Please don't try to have a conference with the teacher in the morning. She's very busy. She's trying to get kids in the classroom, settled down, and the first couple of weeks of school are really tough. So if you need to talk to the teacher about anything specific, please make a time for them, and they can do it when they're not going to be required to be in the classroom and helping children get settled. So then you would also pick up outside. You sign them out. The teacher will also bring them to the door or to the gate if they're outside, and you can just pick them up there. With all their stuff should be outside waiting for them. So if you're not registered to come between 8 and 9 o'clock a.m., you can sign in for early birds. Because they are in their own classroom, you can bring them early. This is a $5 a day, you sign them in, you're billed at the end of the month, only if you're not registered for the 8 o'clock program. If you're registered for 8 to 2 or 8 to 4:30, you don't need to sign this. Only those registered from 9 to 12:30 need to sign the early bird sign, and then you'll be billed at the end of the month. If you're ready for signing in, you will find this on your sign-in desk, which we'll look at in a minute. This is your sign-in sheet. Your child's name will be here. You sign them in with their full signature, what time, and then you sign them out with what time. And then there's a spot for comments over here. So if you like Aunt Josie's picking them up, and you have to make sure that Aunt Josie's name is in my office, or you make sure that the name is on here so we can check the ID and it's okay. Then also by signing your child in, there's a statement on the bottom that you are attesting that your home is COVID-free. Nobody has any symptoms, nobody's sick, and that just kind of makes sure that we know that your child is going to come to school nice and healthy. Your child will also be temperature checked by whichever teacher is meeting you at the door. They will do a temperature check on the child, and they'll do a temperature check on whoever is dropping the child off. So just be patient. That's just part of the steps we're taking to make sure everybody stays safe and healthy and has a great day at school. So beyond that, we have every classroom has their pens, and we have the used pens thing. So when you sign them in, you take a clean pen, and then you put it in the used little thing, and then we'll sanitize those throughout the morning so that there's plenty of pens for everybody to use to sign in and out safely. If you are late picking your child up, if your child is supposed to be picked up at 12:30 and you're here at 12:45, that's a 10-minute late fee, because we do give you 5 minutes, free time, and then we'll start charging you $1 a minute if you're late. Usually I'm pretty easy about that, but if it becomes a habit and you're doing it all the time, then we will start charging a late fee. The teachers have other things to do. They have afternoon adventure and classes to move around and keep breaks and all that good stuff. So it's very important that you get here on time. The children that are picked up at 2 o'clock need to be picked up by 2 o'clock and off-site, because the teachers are covering nap rooms, they're breaking other teachers, they're going home, and it's just, it's a necessity that they are picked up on time and not late. Okay, nap time, we are going to have 2 nap rooms this year, if at all possible. That's our plan. And one of them is going to be in the 2-year-old room. Those children sleep more. This is going to be the quiet end of the building. And then the older kids, or the children that don't tend to sleep, will be in room 5, so they can just have a rest time, and then they can have quiet playtime while the other kids are sleeping. That hopefully is going to work out well, because there's a lot of children that just don't want to nap or have no need for a nap anymore, so that will help that situation out. But we do ask, when you come to pick up your children, that you are very quiet outside the 2-year-old room at 2 o'clock. Those kids are sleeping in there, and they go in about 1:30. So we are going to probably have you come in at the far gate, so you can pick your child up at the far end without having to disturb this end of the building. But that will all be directional next week. We'll have some signs up and stuff like that. So just look for that when you are picking up your child at 2 o'clock. So that would be the gate closest to the playground, the art studio at that end of the building. There's a gate. We have a brand new fence. It's a little bit higher, more secure. It's just lovely. I hope you guys all like it when you come up and see that. So we did the sign in, sign out. Let's see. So signing in and signing out, we got all that taken care of. Babysitting, we're going to put in there because a lot of parents ask our staff to babysit. Some staff are open to it, but it's just, we have to make sure that parents know that that is a separate deal between a individual and a family. It has no part of our preschool. So just know, if you do ask a teacher to babysit, that is not part of our preschool contract. So that teacher would do that on their own time. We do discourage it, but we can't deny them that. So hopefully that works out if you guys choose to do that. But We are just saying that we are not responsible for any kind of deal through working with babysitting services through the teachers. So then we have our tuition. Tuition is based on 9 months, so it's a yearly fee. You can see that in your figures here. It's a yearly fee, and it's broken down into 9 equal payments. So while you pay for the whole month of September, even though we start like a week late, 3 days late, you also don't pay for June when we're going like 2 weeks into June. It's all just a number of days. It's 9 equal payments for that one yearly fee. So that's why you pay the same amount in December when we're gone half the month as you do in like February. We're here the whole month. So that's how that works. Tuition is due the first of the month and late after the 10th. We do accept cash or checks. There's also the Zelle app, which works really well for us. And if you need any information on how to pay with the Zelle app, just contact me, and it's usually pretty easy. It's through your bank. It goes from your bank to our bank, and there's no, in between, there's no fee, and it usually works pretty good. You can find us on Zelle at our email address. So that works out really well. And then you're always given a receipt for your tuition. And I'm going to show you, this is our sign-in desk, which is outside every classroom. This is where you'll find the sign-in sheets. This is where you'll find all that information that you'll need. Let's see if I can get that down here. So it's this little sign-in desk. The teachers have this out in front of their classroom. You'll find the sign-in sheets, any special notices, and then you'll have your own folder with any kind of correspondence home. So like next week, you'll be finding the COVID waiver in here. You'll be finding any of the receipts that I might have had from your payment so far that I haven't been able to give you. That will all be in your folder, and that's where you'll find that stuff from now on. You'll also find like your teacher letter. Your teacher will be writing an introductory letter, so she'll be having anything like that in your folder. And you can just look for, sometimes people put birthday invitations in there. It's just your little mailbox. Make sure you check that a couple times a week. Okay, if you choose to withdraw your child from the school, we do require a 30-day notice, and that is why you paid all the way back in July for your last month of tuition. If you stay all year, that's applied to May. If you leave earlier, it's applied to whenever you give a 30-day notice. So we'll just let me know 30 days in advance, and it's all covered. Unless you change programs, like if you start out at 3 half days and then you change to 3 days till 2 o'clock, then we'll have just a little adjustment at the end of the month or end of the year. If you feel like you need to have a conference with your child's teacher, they are always available for that, but you just need to make special arrangements for them so I can get coverage in their classroom, or they can work out a time where they can stay after and they don't have any kind of responsibilities after school. Then we can make that work. But just go through your teacher first, and then she'll come and clear it with me. Our diaper policy, if your child is in diapers, we do supply diapers, wipes, gloves, all of the good changing materials, and there is a $10 a month fee for all 2-year-olds. If they're over 2 and they're still not potty trained, then they will be charged $30 a month. Just a little incentive to get them potty trained. And the teachers are always happy to help you. They've trained many children how to potty in the toilet. So use us and our skills and our stamps and our M&Ms or gummy bears, whatever it takes. We usually have one little reward system, whatever we work out with the family. And we all work together and we get that done. So if any of your children are sick, other than COVID, anything like that, just, if your child's got a fever, diarrhea, anything like that, they have to stay home, obviously, for until they are clear of any type of symptoms over 72 hours without medication. That's just right now during COVID. Usually it's 24 hours without any symptoms, but we'll work together on that. If your child had no COVID symptoms, as soon as they're feeling a little bit better and no fever, diarrhea, throwing up, anything like that, we we can't have at the school. Let's see. If your child is on medications, there is a medical consent form here for your medication, like if they're on amoxicillin, if they have an earache and we need to administer it while you're here, we need it in a doctor's prescribed bottle, and then we'll just have to have parents' permission and direction on how to use that. This is available outside my office on the table, along with any kind of other flyers, like our newsletter would be out there, and the medication forms, extra COVID waivers, things like that we'll put out here so you can just grab it to your convenience. This is also needed if you want us to apply sunscreen to your child. We cannot apply sunscreen unless you fill one of these out. You bring the sunscreen, and it's got to be labeled with this. So make sure you fill one of those out if we need to apply sunscreen to your child for like a later in the day. Otherwise, you should bring sunscreen, them with sunscreen on in the morning, so that we don't have to do that. There are parent bulletin boards outside my office. There's parent bulletin boards at each teacher's center. They have all kinds of notices up. Just make sure that you are reading things around there so that we can get information to families about things that are happening, any extra programs, any just, parties in the classroom, that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you're aware of holidays, school parties, school celebrations, that kind of thing. It's always posted all around the school. Snacks. So we talked a little bit about you bringing snacks for your children. They do need to bring a snack in the morning. So just a small little, goldfish and grapes or something like that. But they like pirate's booty. And then make sure your child has their own water bottle. These it helps for the teachers to take these outside so we don't have to use a communal drinking fountain. We don't have to go through a bunch of paper cups. So if they have their own water bottle and clearly mark it with their name, then the teachers take those outside. We can refill them throughout the day, but this is really like the safest way for them to keep their hydration up during the day. And the kids are really good at knowing whose is whose. So don't worry about somebody else using your child's water bottle, because usually they all know whose theirs is, as well as everybody else in their classroom. So that's for the snacks. And every child should have in their cubby a set of extra clothes. Extra clothes should be always looked at for what the weather is like. Like in September, it's usually pretty warm, so they should have extra shorts, short sleeve shirt, underwear, and socks. If they're having like sneakers on, if they wear sandals, that's fine, but we should always have extra underwear and socks and shorts and t-shirt or little skirt or whatever. And then as the weather changes, you have to keep monitoring what's in your extra clothes, because sometimes we can have like sweaters in September and t-shirts or tank tops in December. But just monitor what's in there. Put one of each in there if you want. Our weather changes so often, but they should always just have extra clothes in their cubby that are related to the weather, so they have something to wear. And don't forget the socks, because a lot of times, especially like the 2-year-olds who were potty training and then they have accidents and they have no socks. And even extra shoes is great. We do have a few extra pairs of shoes that we use. They don't fit every child, but they are something that they can walk around in if they don't have any, if they've already got their shoes wet. So that goes in your cubby. Each child will have the cubby in their own classroom with that for all their lunch boxes and their extra clothes and good stuff like that. And then possessions from home. We really are trying not to allow them to bring possessions from home. The teachers might start doing some show and tell later in the year if we see it's not going to be a problem with keeping things put away and not sharing toys from home. But for right now, we're going to ask you to just, if they bring something out of the door and they want to have a toy at school, just have them leave it in the car, and then they can have it when they get picked up. So they're not bringing it to school. If they are doing nap time, they can bring a small stuffy that would stay in their cubby and I would get it out, or in their nap bag. But if they want to sleep with it, it should stay in their nap bag or in their cubby, and it has to be small so it all fits in that one little bag that we give you. So nap time, we're just going to cover it, and excuse me for a minute. Nap bag. Oh, nap bags. The nap bag, little drawstring bag, and with Preschool, we'll supply the sheet for the bag. The parent can make sure they can have either a blanket that would fit in the bag, if the child wants one, a small pillow that would fit in the bag, and a small stuffy. Everything must fit in the bag and be able to draw so that it doesn't touch someone else's bedding. So the Preschool does supply the mat and the sheet, and the parent is required to take this bag home at the end of the week and launder it for the next nap day, or for the next week. So that's nap time. As we kind of covered earlier, there was going to be 2 nap rooms, but that's how that will go. Those will be sent home next week for you to bring back your pillows and blankets and whatever you want to add to that. Our fundraiser, we usually do a fundraiser every year, but we, because of COVID, we haven't been able to do that last year. Maybe by this spring things might look better, but right now we are not planning any family events, unfortunately. Just not going to gather. But we did our concert last year on our YouTube channel. We have different ideas for that this year, but we'll see how that goes, and you'll all be notified if anything is going to be happening for special events or fundraisers or anything. We love to celebrate your children's birthday. They love to be celebrated. They usually get a crown and a treat from home, and the kids will sing a song to them. We don't do birthday parties. We don't do balloons and cakes and all of that good stuff. We were more welcoming to like treat bags and stuff like that last year, just because children were not, having birthday parties. But we do really try to just celebrate them for their time at snack time or lunchtime, give them their little treat from home, which we really would appreciate it being a cookie, a donut hole, a small muffin. But the cakes and the cupcakes, the children just don't eat them, and they are messy, and it tends to be a lot of extra work for the teacher. So we do prefer a cookie, or the children love donut holes. Those are super easy, inexpensive little treat for the kids. So if you want to do something on your birthday, just on your child's birthday, just make sure that you tell the teacher that you're going to be bringing something in, and she'll be prepared to share that with the class. And so we do have our school library. Take a quick look up there. That is in my office. Those books are available for you parents to borrow and take home and let the children use them for the weekend and then bring them back. There's no checkout system. There's no I took this. It's just bring it back, and there's a little basket to put it on up here, and then we'll reshelf them. So it's just something that the kids like to come in and take a little book and share it, something from school. So we did do school pictures last year, but we did it in spring. So I think this year we'll probably wait till spring again. It worked out really well, and we still got some really nice pictures, but we will not be having pictures for school pictures before the holidays or anything. So don't plan on that, but we will be scheduling them sometime in the spring when it's easier to do it. It's not cold or anything like that. We keep the doors and windows open. Lunches. Children all bring their own lunch. These all go in their cubbies. I'm going to say that these little boxes that have different, small little amounts, because children don't eat a lot at preschool, but some little crackers here, some carrot sticks, a little half sandwich, quesadilla. The children like their thermoses with pasta or mac and cheese or chicken nuggets. pizza. The kids like their little leftover pizza. So just remember little easy things for them to eat that they will eat. Sometimes they see something that somebody else is eating, they're like, I want that. So the teachers will sometimes give you hints that, you might want to try this. Your child has some interest in this kind of food. So, we just try to keep it small and minimal so that they eat it. But we don't force them. Sometimes the teachers will, say, okay, take a bite as they reading a story to them at lunchtime. But usually it's just like a very nice social time when we all sit at the table and everybody's eating and talking. And it's sometimes a lot more talking than eating, but they can take it home and eat it. They'll probably eat it more there. So we talked about the sun block. That's for anytime we need to reapply it in the afternoon. Our summer program, we did our 6-week regular last year. That worked out really well. So that's what our plans will be this year. 6-week summer program, 3 mornings a week, and it's just a lot of fun. Religion, we were able to keep our chapel time going from last year. Pastor comes over and he stays outside and does his little Bible story for the children. He'll do each class separate. So that works out really well, and the children love it. They like listening to it and seeing all his visuals that he brings with him. And it's a nice little 5-minute Bible story that introduced them to that. School holidays, like I said, you all got a calendar that spells out all of our holidays. If you have older children in the public school system, that's the exact schedule we follow, unless if it's Easter is not matching up. And I believe this year, Easter does not match up to spring vacation. So we will also be closed on Good Friday, which the public schools are not. But that is something that we do here at this church because this church needs our space for our celebrations. And it's something that we observe. So that should be on your school calendar. And mark it on your calendars at home that is the one day. And then we also always have a staff development day that usually coincides with the city schools though. School events, like I said, we're not going to be doing any school events, which is unfortunate. Our very favorite Halloween parade we have to cancel again. Our Christmas sing, we're going to look at different ways to do that, but we will be performing in some manner this year. And then, no open house right now, no family potlucks right now, but we'll work on that. Maybe in the spring. Let's stay hopeful. And then you will see that our handbook discusses the curriculum. It's different age groups, different curriculum that we have in our lesson plans and our themes, and that we really try to stay how the children are interested in. It's a emergent curriculum, so if the kids are interested in like the butterflies and then they move on to other springy things, it just kind of flows from there. But we will be sticking to our theme outline, and that's how you'll see your progress. And we never know if it's going to stay that way or if it's going to move somewhere else, but it'll always be posted what we're looking at in these classrooms. Some of you have agreed to let us put your children on our Facebook or Instagram, which we don't have yet, but we're going to get. So, and those of you that choose not to be on that, don't worry. We have a list of not to include you in pictures of that. But some of the stuff we put on there, we weren't very good at it last year. That's my apologies, but hoping to be better at it this year. So you can see what's going on in the school since we can't do really anything as far as the family events. So we do have parents that quite often take lengthy vacations during the school year. Unfortunately, that is not something that we credit you tuition on. If you choose to take vacation during the school year that's not already, when we're not already out, then you are still responsible for paying your tuition if you want to keep your child enrolled. Otherwise, I would have to find a replacement. It is, a tight budget with limited availability. So, and this year we have a pretty full school, so we are very happy about that. Well, I'm hoping you got enough information here, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to email me, call me, talk to me next week, but we can go over any other questions you might have. But other than that, make sure you look for your COVID waiver in your folder. If you did not get a parent handbook because you registered after I sent them out, I'll make sure to get that to you. All right, so we look forward to next week, and I'll see you then. Thank you.